Alright, so in this video I would like to go over the product and power rules for exponents. So we've got a couple examples for each so that you can figure out what the rule is. We'll start with example 1. It has x squared times x, and we want to simplify that expression. Now if we write it out the long way, that gives me x times x, which is x squared, times x. So the three x's together just equal x cubed. Okay? Let's try the second one before we really try and nail down what the rule is here, or what's happening. So if we write this out the long way, m cubed is equivalent to that, times m to the fourth, which is equivalent to that. So if we add up all of our m's, we now have 7. So I just gave away what your rule is when you're multiplying these bases. What you do with the exponents is just add them. So our last example here, I have two coefficients now in the problem, the 2 and the 3. Those big numbers, you just multiply them. 2 times 3 is 6. We don't apply this rule that we're discovering for the exponents to the coefficients. However, with my x's, I have x cubed, I have x to the 7, 3 plus 7 is 10. That's my final answer. Okay, so the rule is just x to the a power times x to the b power is x to the a plus b. And the nice thing about these exponent rules is that if you ever forget it, you can just write things out the long way, right? And then just rediscover it yourself. Okay, let's try the next couple. So example 4 now has x squared to the 5th power. So now we want to try and figure out what we do with these exponents when we have one that's raised to another power. Well, again, I'm going to be obnoxious and write this out the long way. So x squared to the 5th power just means I have x squared 5 times. Okay? Well, we talked about, we set this up in example 1. X squared is just x times x. So this is really the same as this long, obnoxious thing. And let me make sure I get the right number here. Okay, so now I have 10 x's, so my answer is just x to the 10. Okay, well, let's try it again. Write it out the long way, see if we can figure out what's happening. Right now I have 2p squared to the 3rd power. Well, this just means 2p squared times 2p squared times 2p squared, right? When you're raising something to an exponent, it just means you're multiplying that thing by itself that many times. Well, this just means 2 times p times p times 2 times p times p. Now you can see why it's very helpful to have the rules so that we don't have to do this every single problem, because it would get super annoying. So again, with my coefficient, with my 2, I'm just going to do 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I now have 6 p's. So if you'll notice, all we're doing here with the exponents is we're multiplying them. Okay? So the big number, the coefficient, still gets raised to the power. 2 to the 3rd power is 8. But we're multiplying the little guys. Okay? So let's try example 6. I'm ignoring the 5 for now, but everything in the parentheses gets raised to the power 4. So I'll just write down my 5. And then I have 2 to the 4th power. M to the 2 times 4 is 8. P to the 3 times 4 is 12. We can simplify this further. 2 to the 4th power is 16. M 8. P 12. And 5 times 16 is just 80. And that's our final answer. Okay, again, you're multiplying these guys, the little guys. The coefficient I'm raising to the power of 4. Okay, last one, and don't let the fractions scare you. Everything in this parenthesis is being raised to the power of 2, so let's write it out. 3 squared, x, this is 4 times 2, it just gives me 8. 8 squared, y to the 5 times 2 gives me 10. So if I just simplify this a little bit further, 3 squared is 9, 8 squared is 64, y to the 10th. That's our final answer. Okay? So the rule here, I'll write it down here so you can see it. Everything in this parenthesis gets raised to the power m, so I have a to the m power x to the b times m. The exponents you just multiply. So there it is. Thanks for watching.